What's going on, everyone? So now that the Los Angeles Lakers have officially signed Luka Doncic to a long-term extension, which was huge, right? Because you got to remember, Lakers didn't have the advantages that like Dallas had if they had kept him, like with the Supermax stuff, right? Luka could have gotten the same contract with any team, right? So any team that was out there, he easily could have gotten that contract. So the fact that he stuck around, which again, I wasn't worried about, talked about it very heavily on this channel. Most people I don't think were worried about it. I think it was mostly, just people talking and the naysayers and Laker haters and stuff. I think most Laker fans knew, right, that like, hey, Luka's going to stay, he's going to stick around. And that's huge, right? Because now you don't have that hanging over your head where if like Luka drew it out a little bit or something, you start adding some concerns, right? It's like, like, is he really going to leave? What do the Lakers do now? Do they look to trade him? Right? It becomes all this unnecessary noise. But we knew the Lakers were going to at least get a shot from Luka. Now, post this extension, that is where we'll see, right? Because it's very possible, like, if Lakers don't do what they're supposed to do, if Lakers don't hold up their end of the deal, Luka is recruiting, he's signed long-term, right? Like, you have him at least the next 3 years. So he's doing all the things on his end where it's like, hey, I'm here. Let's make it happen. Lakers need to hold up their end. They need to lock in. They need to engage, and they need to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to do in order to keep Luka beyond this new extension, right? And one of the best ways is a trade, right? And there's been a lot of kind of rumors and speculation and stuff about a Lakers trade. Luka wants to win now. He's made that very clear. He's said, he wants, rim protection. He wants shooters, floor space. He wants, defense out on the perimeter. That's why he went and recruited Marcus Smart. Right? Like, he's a guy that said, like, I've gotten a taste of the good life, right? He's gotten a taste of the NBA Finals. He wants to get back there and he wants to win it this time. He doesn't want to fall short like he did last time. So the Lakers, they need to make sure that they're willing to do whatever it takes. It's hard to want to push your chips in when, your ace is not in your hand, right? Like, you're not ready yet. Now that Luka actually is committed and is signed on, and now that you have that ace, right? It's time to, push that chip, put those chips in, right? Like, let's go all in. And I'm hoping that Luka Doncic is the first domino to tip over that now incentivizes the Lakers to go and make moves. Again, I don't want them to rush a trade. I still stand by no trade is better than a bad trade, but now the Lakers have the confidence and that security of like, okay, we have him now. We don't have to worry about like, we go make all these, we go trade for an Andrew Wiggins and then he leaves and it's like, we don't really need Andrew. Like, it's pointless. We should have saved our assets and waited and see what happened, right? Like, you don't want to go and make the moves, a Matisse Thybulle and Robert Williams even, right? Do you really want to take the risk for them if you're worried about Luka leaving at the end of the season? Probably not. But now you can, with confidence, go and make that trade, make that move. Or like I said, an Andrew Wiggins, because it's like, okay, now we're trying to win today. We got Luka and LeBron. Let's try to win today, right? So let's go do that, where the Lakers would have to play kind of this cat and mouse game if Luka wasn't committed. But now that he's committed, now I'm hoping that this incentivizes the Lakers. My fear is that this kind of does the opposite. That what this does is it puts the Lakers in that comfort of like, good job, round of applause, everyone, high fives all around, drinks on me, let's go, right? And just pack it up. Right? Like, again, I don't mind if the Lakers were to start the season as is. I don't mind if the Lakers, want to get a look and see, like, what does Jake LaRavia look like? What does Jared Vanderbilt, if he's really improving his three-point shot? Let's give him a chance. What if he is, 36% from three-point range this season? Like, do you really want to go and overpay? Not saying you don't still go get an Andrew Wiggins or something like that, but now you're not in a place of need, you're in a place of want. It's a big difference. Right? When teams know you need this, you're desperate. If you don't get this, you could be in trouble. Well, now that desperation's gone. Now it's like, hey, we have Luka. We don't need to make a move in order to convince Luka to sign. We don't need to do it. Like, he's already signed. He's already done. Now, obviously, you need to make moves to keep him long-term and not him a year or two from now opting out or requesting a trade or whatever, right? You want him to be invested and be engaged. Right now he is. He's bought in, he's locked in, he's ready to go. Right? So Lakers still need to do their part, but at least from a negotiation standpoint, There's no longer that Luka hanging over your head where it's like, if we do this, he leaves, that might not be the best move for us, right? Also, you have, opposing teams that are looking at going like, hey, you want to keep Luka, right? You don't want to run the risk of Luka leaving, right? Well, then this is the price, right? Well, guess what? Luka's signed. So what's the price now? Well, and that's why I also don't mind the Lakers kind of being patient and seeing like, what if a deal is there, take it. If you can get Andrew Wiggins at a reasonable price, go get Andrew Wiggins. If you can get Matisse Thybulle and Robert Williams at a reasonable price, take it. This isn't to say that I don't want the Lakers to do anything, right? Or not go and rush if they can. But if they want like a first and all this other stuff for Thybulle and Robert Williams, when it's like, do you understand how risky those guys are? Right? Do you understand that they could also leave at the end of the season? Right? Like, yes, they if they're healthy, we might have everything. Right? We might solve exactly what we need. But again, at the end of the day, it's like there's a risk to that. I don't want the Lakers to go overpay unless it's a move that makes sense. Right? Like if we knew Robert Williams and Matisse Thybulle were going to give us 65 games this year and be healthy the entire playoffs, go make that trade. Trade everything. Right? Go get it. Because now you have the depth, the versatility, the defense, everything. Or an Andrew Wiggins, same thing. Right? If you know Andrew Wiggins, like if you could gaze into the future and see that Andrew Wiggins is the difference maker, you go trade it. But unfortunately, we can't. Unfortunately, we don't have a way, we don't have a time machine, we don't have a DeLorean that can go and do those things. Right? So Lakers have to be, reserved in how they go about this. But I want them to take the move. But that also would help, one, their assets. You look at their expiring contracts. That's really their best assets, are the expiring contracts. But they're an appreciating asset. Right? So the longer you can hold out, the longer you can wait, the more valuable those assets become. The more that those assets really start to make sense for opposing teams. So again, that's another reason why it might be better. Because like the deals you can get right now, you might be able to get an even better deal later on. Now, obviously, one in the hand is worth two in the bush. Patience is great, which I talk about all the time, but the patience has to pay off. So far, Rob Pelinka's patience has paid off. You landed Luka Doncic, you landed DeAndre Ayton, you landed Marcus Smart, right? The patient approach is working right now. So stay that. But you also want to see, because what if, we get into the season, it's just like, what if there is a bigger glaring hole? Right? What if Austin Reeves is the glaring hole? What if it's like, man, we need like a starting two, not really a starting three, right? Jake LaRavia or Jared Vanderbilt, whomever, are playing that part and playing that role, but it's just not, they're great at the three. We need a clear cut two. Right? Like again, it could change things based on how the season progresses, what this team looks. Right now, what stands out, right, like a sore thumb is like, hey, we need a starting level 3-and-D wing, like an Andrew Wiggins type, or we need a better upgrade at the backup center. Now, I think the backup center is not as big of a necessity. Like, I don't think that that's something, like if the Lakers don't address that, I don't think that that's a big deal. Because the difference between a Jackson Hayes and even like a Nick Richards isn't huge, right? The margins aren't like massive. Like you look at a Nikola Vucevic, or not Vucevic, but talk about Vucevic a lot lately. Nikola Jokic, right? You look at the difference between like a Nikola Jokic and like an Alperen Şengün. I mean, there's a gap. Like Şengün is an excellent center. Every team in the league would love to have him. There is a gap. Same thing with like Ivica Zubac, Domantas Sabonis, right? Like there's a gap. Backup centers is not really that. It's based on the role, opportunity, stuff like that, right? Like I think the Lakers are fine in that regard. But the 3-and-D wing spot is the position we need right now. However, again, Jared Vanderbilt or somebody comes along and actually is what we need. Now, maybe we don't need to use our assets to go solve that position. Maybe we're looking. Maybe that new thing presents itself. Maybe we need just like, hey, we really could use just a scorer off the bench. Hey, let's go get a Malik Monk. Right? Like, because the bench offense is just terrible. And it's just like the starters are giving us 110 points a game and the bench is giving us 10. Right? Like, it very well could be. As the season progresses, that could be something. But I'm hoping that, like I mentioned, this Luka signing is that first domino that tips over, that now knocks down all the other dominoes to incentivize the Lakers to go, all right, let's go. It's go time, right? We got Luka, got him locked up. LeBron James, we got him this year. These two guys, best duo in the league. Let's go win a championship this year. Let's push our chips in. Let's do what we can do this year. The 2027 thing, all that stuff, worry about that when you get there, right? If LeBron really leaves and you have cap space and stuff like that, somebody's going to come. Somebody's going to go, I can go to the Lakers, play alongside Luka Doncic, and potentially win an NBA championship. But it's like I've said, if you build it, they will come. If you're just a shell and it's just Luka and nothing else, then you might not have guys rush into the door. You might get one or two, but you're not going to have guys run into the door to go do that. But all of a sudden, if you have this kind of core, foundation intact, and LeBron James ends up retiring or leaves or does whatever, and now you have the cap space to go and bring in that second guy, why wouldn't somebody want to do that? Why wouldn't somebody look at that and go, man, like me, Luka, Ayton, this guy, that guy, let's say Jake LaRavia really emerges. It's like, dude, plug me in. We're winning another championship, baby. So Lakers got to do the job. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. Pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. Lets me enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one.